During this video, I'm going to break down every single feature that SurveySlam has to offer. So let's jump on over to WordPress and get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is log into your WordPress dashboard. And if you scroll down the side, you'll see SurveySlam. And let's break down this menu first. So the first thing you will notice is there's a add new survey. So this is where you go if you want to create any type of sequence, whether you're creating a customer survey, personal mentoring form, a lead magnet, a lead capture form, an exit intent pop-up, any type of lead capture sequence or segmentation sequence, you create it from this area. Next, we have the import survey section. Now, this is really cool. It allows you to go into the Streamism membership area, download any template that we've done for you, and import it straight in. And from there, all you need to do is tweak the settings, and you've got a styled survey ready to go straight out the box. Next, we have the settings menu. This is where you go in to add in all your autoresponder API information, so you can connect directly to your autoresponder services. We've got templates. In the future, we'll be bringing out templates which you can literally just import straight in. We've got the subscribers section. This is where you can get detailed information on each and every subscriber that fills in one of your forms. So if they answer open-ended questions, you can see all their results and all the information that you need. And finally, we have results and analytics. And this basically gives you a bird's eye view of how your sequence or survey or lead magnet is performing with conversion rates, drop-off rates, all that kind of information. So let's start with the settings area. So if I head into the settings, we'll see we've got all our advanced integrations and our basic integrations. We strongly recommend an advanced integration. This means you've got more advanced functionality, like being able to add tags and custom fields depending on what service you use. So all you need to do is select the drop down and it will open up the options. And then you just type in your API key. So next we want to have a look at importing a survey. So I'm not going to create a survey from scratch. I want to show you something which is completely done already. So if I click on import survey, all we need to do is upload a file. So if I actually head over to the Academy section, basically we've got all these templates ready made and done for you. So if we go into this one, let's say we want this pop-up. I'm just going to click to open that link and then download this template. So once you download that template, we can actually go back to SurveySlam, click on choose file. We're going to find that pop-up, that file we just downloaded, click on open and click on import now. Okay, so we can see up here it says survey imported successfully. So what we're going to do is click on open survey. And this is going to take us to the edit screen. Now, everything has been done for you on this screen. You can go through and you can modify the contents as much as you want. But before we start doing that, let's actually take a look at the pop-up and how it looks. So this is essentially a permalink. So every time you create a survey inside SurveySlam, it creates a permalink on your site, which is a page that you can use to view your pop-up while you're creating it. So this is actually a pop-up. It could be a survey sequence. It's completely up to you how you do it. So we could have this set to autoplay. I've actually got it turned off. But the first step is to click on the first answer, so submit answer. And then the questions start appearing. So obviously you'd have to go in and change all these questions. And also you can tell it's not a pop-up at the moment. To actually set it up as a pop-up, you have to add some settings in manually, and I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. But let's just get a general idea of how this form looks. So this is all ready to go straight out the box. It's very quick, very easy to set up. Everything's done for you. Obviously, you have to put in your own answer text and stuff like that as well, which I'll show you how to do now. But basically, every single widget is inside this survey, so you can do any type of widget that you want. Okay, so that gives you a general idea of how that survey looks. Now let's jump inside and go through the settings. Now the first thing you notice inside SurveySlam is this section at the top, and this is actually where you choose what type of sequence you're creating. So if you want it as a pop-up, a page, an embeddable form, or advanced. A pop-up is basically if you want to create a pop-up or an exit intent form. A page, that is essentially your permalink up here. An embeddable form is if you want to actually embed the form into your own landing page or sales page. And advanced is if you want to do a selection of all three. So if you want the same sequence to work as a pop-up and an embeddable form, you can select advanced. Advanced also reveals a bunch of features that aren't available in the other options. Now the first section you see is basically where you design your sequence. So you can see on the left side we've got our form widgets, in the middle we've got our question builder, and on the right side we have our survey questions. So each time we change between these survey questions, we get a different question appear in the middle. So for our first question, you can see we've got our headline, we've got a progress bar, then we've got a video, and we've got a single button at the bottom. So this is basically this section here. As we go to the next question, we can see we've actually got our question sequence starting to kick in. So the progress bar has moved on to section 2 of the survey. We ask the first question down here, and then we've got our answers. Now, the way that SurveySlam works is designed to be extremely fast and easy to use. So let me give you a quick example of creating a new question. So if we created a new question and we click on the question text, as soon as you click the question text, all the settings appear below. So we can see here, we might want to type in our question. So if you click on this little A icon, it gives you a lot more flexibility. So what pets do you have? Question mark. Now you might want to style this in a certain way. So we can actually use our what you see is what you get editor to make it look a little bit more appealing. This is basically exactly the same editor that you have inside WordPress. So you can do anything you want in there. You can add images and all sorts, bold, change font sizes. So once you've done that, you want to actually add in an answer. Now along this left-hand side, you can see all the different form widgets that are available. So we've got text input fields, multi-line text input fields, name and email. So if you wanted to capture name and email, we've got 2 choice buttons, drop-down widget. So if you wanted to add a drop-down widget, checkboxes. So if you want to add checkboxes, you can actually pre-check these as well if you want. So you can have certain answers readily selected, or you can turn them off so nothing's selected. We have button list, which can be radio buttons or they can be a list of buttons, kind of along these lines. You can also add in your own images, videos, just by clicking. So it's extremely flexible over what you can actually add in. Also, we've got these, what you see is what you get editors. So for a single column or 2 columns, and you can add in custom HTML. Now, let me get rid of this one quickly. I want to show you the features behind the answers. So every time you select one of these blocks, the settings appear just below it. So let's select this first answer. So for each answer in this question builder, you're going to get a selection of options for each single answer. So we put in our answer text up here. I'm just starting. As you can see, I'm just starting. And then you've got all these other features. So you can actually apply tags. So if you're using like ActiveCampaign, Drip, Infusionsoft, ConvertKit, smart solutions which enable you to tag, you can actually type in any tags you want to add here. So for example, this person's saying they haven't chosen their market chosen. So you could add a tag just saying no market chosen. You can also add multiple tags per answer. You can add lead scores. You can also add custom fields if you have custom fields set up inside ActiveCampaign. You can add custom CSS class for each answer. So if you wanted to add some custom CSS to that row, you could do, adding padding to the top and the bottom. And also we've got the end results. Now, essentially, the end result is what happens at the very end of your form. So once someone's gone through your entire survey, they've answered all your questions, they hit your email opt-in form at the end, they type in their name and email. So what happens after that? So essentially, depending on what answers they select, we can send them to unique end results. Now, the way these end results work is you can select what one you want someone to go to when they click a certain answer. It works a lot like a tally. So if someone goes through all of your questions, each answer can point towards a specific end result, and the tally which led to a specific end result most is the one they're going to land on. So let me show you what end results can do quickly. So if we scroll down here right to the bottom, we can see we've got this end result section. So once someone submits an email form, we can say this is end result 1. So we can give it a name. We choose our autoresponder service, so I'm using Active Campaign. So essentially, when someone has completed your survey, you're going to add in this tag, and we're going to add them to this list. So you can add in tags here. You can also select to send them to multiple lists. If you have an account on Active Campaign, account on ConvertKit, and you want to kind of back your subscribers up, you can also do it this way. So that's another option. We're going to leave that blank for now. Next, once someone clicks submit, you've got a choice out of either redirecting them to a new page or showing them content on the page. So you can see down here we've got a progress bar saying that they've completed the survey. You can write in any text you want here, and you can design it the same way as you would in a WYSIWYG editor. Alternatively, you can redirect them to another page just by selecting this box. Now, we can put in a redirect to any link that we want. We can also choose to open that link in a new tab. Now, if you open that link in a new tab, you can also choose to show content on the page as well. So that's completely up to you if you want to do that. We also have this feature which allows you to pass the name and email to the redirect. Now, the reason we have this feature is it allows you to, if for example you use SurveySlam to create a very simple opt-in form, you may want to have a segmentation survey on your thank you page. And by selecting this box and putting in the redirect URL to your segmentation survey, their name and email will be passed into that survey. Essentially, what that means is they're not going to have to type in their name and email to be segmented on the next page. So it's simplifying the process and making sure you keep your conversion rates high. So the last two features are, well, you can add a lead score, but you can also add in retargeting codes based on this end result, and you can also set up notifications. So essentially, whenever someone lands on this particular end result, you're going to get an email with all of the information that they put in. So this is great for things like personal mentoring surveys. If someone fills in one of your personal mentoring forms, you can get an email straight away with all their results, and you can have that email get sent to your sales team or yourself, so you can follow up with that person on the spot. So essentially that is how our end results work. So let's scroll back up to the top. As you can see, you can add in as many end results as you want. If I select end result 3, it will actually automatically add a new end result. So we can name that end result number 3. And you can see it ends up there. And then it actually changes the name up here as well. So a couple of other features, we've got the one-click webinar registration. So remember, this is all dependent on what answer they select. So if they select the second answer, I might decide that if they click this one, I want to automatically sign them up to a webinar. So all you need to do is choose what service you're using. Currently we're working with GoToWebinar and Webinar Jam, and you paste in the URL that you can get inside your Webinar Jam account, and it will automatically sign them up. So finally, I want to talk to you about the conditional logic. Now, what this allows you to do is send people on separate funnels depending on what answers they choose. So imagine if your first question was, what kind of pet do you have? And you had your first answer as cats and your second answer as dogs. For the people that choose cats, we want to send them to another question which is relevant to cats. So we might want the question to be, what colour is your cat? But for the people that choose dogs, we want to do something different. So we might want to say is, how long have you had your dog? So we go into more detail about the answer that they selected previously. And you can do this quite simply by using this feature down here. You basically select what question you want them to go to when they select this specific answer. So that's basically it for the answer selection. Now, there's a couple of other little features that we've got which are quite cool. So let me jump back to our pop-up. Now, when we first looked at this page, you'll notice the video didn't start and there was a button which automatically appeared straight away. Now, the trouble with this is essentially we want to make people watch our video before we allow them to click our button. We don't want them to skip ahead. So we've added in this feature which allows you to actually delay the button from appearing. So if you click on the question text up here and select this delayed answer feature, let's say we want it to appear in 7 seconds. If we select our video and we select the autoplay, we click on OK. Let's update this page and refresh our survey. So I'm going to turn off the volume on this video when it starts playing. Okay, so essentially the video started playing, so you're watching the video and a couple of seconds later our button appears. Now if this video was 2 minutes long, we could set this button to appear after 1 minute, 1 minute 30, 2 minutes, is completely up to you. But that gives you a way of kind of creating a more engaging funnel. You're making sure people are engaged with you before they skip ahead. Okay, so that's how you design the core elements of your survey, the sequence of your survey. Okay, so now we're going to look at the styling options for our pop-up. So if we wanted to change the style, we've got all these different templates that you can select. So some of them are simple buttons, some have borders. So you can go through them to quickly change the style. You can add in your own logos, shrink them, disable them. You can change the survey width. So I had it on 900 before, but I've changed it to 600 now. We did have this selected to a blue before. I've just changed it to a red. We've got white text. I've changed the border shadow to a black. We can also customize the survey background. So if we wanted to add a border, we can add in a border. So let's say I wanted 4 pixels and I wanted the border to be like a gray color. So we can quickly customize this border. We'll keep the background white for now. We can also customize the end result background if we wanted to. And we've got these widget animations. So at the moment I've got it sliding in from the top. But let's try a different one. Let's try zooming in. Okay, so let's click on save and see how that looks now. Now you can see we've got this border. We've got the video. If we wait for the button, we've changed that to the red color now. All of these elements are now red. So you can see we've changed the style quite dramatically very quickly with our new color scheme. So let's go in and change a couple more settings. Essentially what we just changed was the pop-up style, so inside the quiz. But we can also change this background area. If we wanted to send people directly to this page, if we scroll down, get out of the survey and end result style, go to the squeeze page style, we can choose the background color. So if we wanted to change the color of the background, or maybe we want to add in an image, so let's upload our own background image. Let me see if I've got a background image in here somewhere. Here's one. Let's use this. So we want to cover the whole screen and we want to center it. We can also add in a top bar. So I'll show you what that looks like quickly. We're going to make the top bar black and we're going to say, hey, this is cool. And we're just going to center this, make it a nice font, make it bold, maybe make it white. Okay, and we're going to add in a footer. We can also add in a menu. So I've got a footer menu here. We'll add in a custom background, so we'll make the background also black. Okay, that should do. So let's see how that looks now. So we just tweaked a couple of settings there. So that is now saved. So let's see how it looks. So if we refresh the page, we can see we've got our top bar up here. we've got our footer message down here, and we got our survey in the middle. So this makes it very quick to kind of add in your own settings, completely change the style. I would probably make this video thinner if I was actually going to do a full-on design. I might actually just make it wider again. But for now, we'll leave that as it is. The next thing I want to do is show you how this would look as a pop-up. So let's jump back into our survey. I want to make it quite a wide looking pop-up, so I'm going to set it to 900. If we scroll down to our pop-up settings, so here we can choose how we want our pop-up to display. So I want to display it on a very specific page. As you can see, you can have it display everywhere on your home page, all post and pages, all post or all pages, or a specific page. So I'm going to select specific page. I'm going to go down through all my different pages, and I'm going to select for it to appear on the tools page. Okay, so next you can choose when do you want it to display. Okay, so you can have it display instantly after a certain amount of time, when a user scrolls to the bottom of the page, or when a user scrolls to a specific percentage, or you can have it when a user moves the mouse pointer away. This is essentially an exit intent pop-up. So let's just set it to a couple of let's set it to a couple of seconds after someone lands on the page. Let's say 5 seconds. There is also another option where you set this to nowhere and manual, and you use a shortcode that we have on the side menu. So if someone scrolls to a very specific place on your page, the pop-up appears. So that's really good if you want to have perfect timing of when your pop-up appears, because obviously with percentages and stuff like that, you can't guarantee what device someone's on. If they're on a mobile and they're scrolling down your page, 50% is going to be completely different to 50% on a desktop, because the responsiveness and the way that the page actually is. So let's make it display to everyone. You can have it only display to logged in users or logged out users. You can also set the cookie life. So maybe you only want it to display once for each user and never display again, or you can display once every couple of days. It's up to you. So I'm going to set this to display every time. You can also disable the close button, so you force people basically not to be able to close the pop-up, and there's a couple more advanced options down here. So let's just click on save, and I'll show you how it looks as a pop-up. So what we're going to do now is go over to my tools page. So we set it to appear after 5 seconds. So if I refresh this page, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we go. So that has appeared. Now with this pop-up, I would add a bit more padding to the bottom of the pop-up, but for now it's fine as it is. So as you can see, that's how the pop-up works, and obviously we've got all the different the entire sequence is built into that. We can see we've got our close button up here, so if we just close that down, and that is how that works. So that is essentially how SurveySlam works. There's a couple more advanced features that I want to show you on the side. So if you want to embed it onto a certain page, this form, all you need to do is take this shortcode, copy it, and paste it into your WYSIWYG editor. It also works with pretty much any page builder you're using. So if you're using Visual Composer, optimises, any of the other WordPress builder plugins, you just paste this into a WYSIWYG editor or your shortcode element in that builder, and that will appear. Next we have the pop-up shortcode. So that is what I explained earlier, where you just paste that in on the point on the page where you want it to appear. We also have the pop-up link. So if you want the pop-up to appear when someone clicks a button on your page, you set the link to be this, and that will trigger the pop-up to appear. We got a couple of advanced elements, JavaScript calls for the more advanced people out there, or developers. Also we have an external script section. So if you want to have pop-ups on non-WordPress based sites, you can try these scripts. A word of warning about these scripts is a lot of external, like third-party tools will actually block these scripts from working. So if you're using something like ClickFunnels, you have to test them first. Not all of them will work with it. Some of them will. If you're using HTML, CSS, custom coded, you shouldn't have any problem at all. So if you keep scrolling down, we also have this autofill URL. Now this is an extremely powerful feature. Essentially, what it does, it gives you a link which you can paste straight into, for this example, you can paste it straight into ActiveCampaign. And essentially, when people click on this link, it automatically inserts their name and email. And if this happens, when they get to the email opt-in form, it doesn't show the email opt-in form at all. So they just see the last question, then they get redirected to the end result. So this means your conversion rates for your survey go up massively because you're not getting customers and leads that you already have their name and email to enter their name and email again. So this is an extremely important feature. If you look at this example URL here, you can see it works with any autoresponder so long as they let you put the name and email shortcodes in place of this section here. So if you're using Aweber, what you want to do is find the personalization code and basically just paste it where you see name and find the personalization code for the email and paste in the shortcode where you see email, including the brackets. So that's how that works. Finally, we have tracking code. If you want to track everyone that visits your survey, no matter what question or answer they choose, you can paste that in there. And we have these export options. So you can save and export the survey. This is a really cool feature. So if I wanted to send this survey to you right now and you have SurveySlam installed on your site, all you need to do is, well, all I need to do is click on save and export and give you the file. And then all you need to do is click on this import survey button on the left side and you can import this survey with all of the settings and everything in place ready for you. So all you need to do is essentially change your questions and answers and select your list in the end result. So you want to make sure you put in your autoresponder service you're using and you're good to go. Also, you can export all subscribers and export all answers to a CSV file. So if you want to download the information to import it into other tools or you want it as a CSV file, you can easily do that here. So that is basically how you build a survey in embeddable form, exit intent pop-ups, anything that you want with SurveySlam. The next thing we want to look at is what actually happens once you've created one of these surveys. So we've got this subscribers and this results and analytics section. So if we go into results and analytics, it basically gives you a list of all of the surveys that you have created. If we click on view report, it's going to break down everything. So I haven't actually used this. I've just been using this for test. But it breaks down absolutely everything about kind of how people have been interacting with your lead sequence, the sequence we just set up. So we can see here how many unique impressions, how many people finished the survey, how many subscribers we got, and the entire conversion rate. So that's basically the overall stats for the entire survey. But then we go a step further and we actually break down the stats of every single question and answer. So we can see for this question, we've got this many unique impressions, we had this many people answer, and we also have this drop-off rate. So how many people dropped off on this question. So we can see 0 people dropped off on this question. And then we break down the answers. So how many people selected the first answer and the percentage of the people that selected that answer. So that's an extremely cool feature right there. Then we go on to the same. So it basically does that with every single question. And as you get to the bottom, it breaks down the end results. So you can see what end result people actually ended up on. So you can also set this by date. You can reset the analytics and you can export all the answers. So if I was to select a date, I could say maybe I just want to see from the start of this month to the end of this month. Click OK. We can see, okay, right, so we've got 6 impressions from the start of this month, 4 finished the survey, 4 subscribed, 67% conversion rate. So that's pretty cool. Next we can go into the subscriber section. So here basically it breaks down everyone that is signed up to your survey, and it gives you all of the information that they've put in. So you can see what survey it was, their name, their email, the date they submitted, the tags which were added, their IP address, their lead score, and at the end, if you want to go into more detail for each person, you can click on this view results button, and it actually shows you the answers they selected. So this is great for open-ended questions where people type in their own answer. You can quickly jump in here and check it out. So that's essentially how SurveySlam works. If you do have any questions, do let me know. Till the next video, see you again. Bye bye for now.